There we are, we're live. Welcome to Color Chats with Moira, and today we are chatting with the founder of the Color Mirror System, Melissie Jolly. Hi, Melissie.
Hello, darling. How nice to see you and to be here with you.
Oh, thank you so much. We've been going through all the contributing authors so kindly was part of this project that was one of those, breadcrumb trail thoughts that you say yes and turn up for. Write a book, okay, and well, write with other authors, oh, okay. And you became a part of the book and a part of the project, which I'm very, very grateful for. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But before we get going, Melissie, I just want to check on my second computer that we are definitely live, and just to see the chats that people can come in and I can see what they're asking questions or passing comments. And let's have a look here. And we are live. Let's see if anybody's joined us yet. Oh, good morning, Lisa Charmaine from California, and Anne from Canada is here. Welcome. Thank you so much. Anne's already said, I want number one. Okay, Anne.
Excellent.
Excellent choice. Okay, we're going to give you a little reading after our show based on whether you've picked 1, 2, or 3. And hello, Suzanne Buggins has come on. Hello, Susanna. Thank you so much for joining us. That's amazing. All right, so let me just show you what the bottles are looking like today. I'll share the screen, and you are going to be picking an essence bottle, but they are master bottles, specifically a theme around a message from a masterful, ascended master energy, if that makes sense. And that Melissie is going to help us get some guidance. So feel if you're drawn to 1, 2, or 3, pop it in the comments box. And please remember to share as we go along. Just hit the share button and share the show in your group, your timeline, whoever you think would be interested in a chat and hearing what we're going to talk about today, which is about the color rose gold. Okay, fabulous. So Melissie, I've got little tabs here so I can just show the audience here. You are in the book, and you wrote about the rose gold lady, but I first want to just give a little shout out here. This photograph was amazing. Now, you're not somebody that likes to have all your photos taken,
or appear on a live screen thing either, Moira, only for you.
Yeah, but that was your photographer, Martha van der Westhuizen. And we did this thing. I felt we had to do it because the photographs I know were a process for the authors, and I wanted to feature the energy of someone who captured the energy of the author, right? And Martha is just an incredible photographer. Anybody in South Africa, if you want. And it's down your way, isn't it? It's her.
Yes, she's close to me. Yeah,
close to you, Stanford area. Yeah, so she's in the book as well. That's just amazing. So Melissie, you wrote about the color rose gold, and there's a story behind this with me that I just indulge me a minute while I share it here, and just for people who don't know this yet. You came to Canada 2018, and you said, I want you, you're going to bring the pearls to Canada. And you said you and your daughter Jilly came, and in the workshop there were 33 people, and we were in this black theater. The walls were pitch black, and the walls was this golden walnutty color. And you and Jilly laid bottles in grids and had us stand in them and meditate with them and feel them. And each pearl bottle was profound. I mean, we all had a profound experience until you put down the grid, and the last one that you did was the rose gold pearl. And you put it down and you took us in a meditation. And when we came out of the meditation, we all looked at each other like, what just happened? None of us could remember what happened. We all were zoned out. It was like we'd fallen asleep and gone somewhere else. And I sat with that, and I didn't really know what to do with that. And then very soon after that, I felt the need to begin writing. And that's how the shadow deck that I created came about, because I felt like there was something had happened and I had to create a shadow deck, which I did. But something else happened. I was doing little workshops to help women, a group of people, and my students connect to masterful female energies, Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Gaia. And then then in the middle, I wasn't sure who we were supposed to connect to. And I put an SOS phone call into, and you said, oh, Moira, for God's sake, it's the rose gold lady. And I put the pearl in the middle to represent the rose gold lady. But I found the same thing that I discovered in the workshop with you, is I had that almost difficult connection to kind of connect to the energy, or I could connect to it, but the memory of what I connected to when you came out of the meditation wasn't there. So I again SOS'd you and said, oh, please, can we have a spritzer? And I asked you for the rose. I asked you to make the rose gold spritzer for us, so that we could, in the meditation, have that smell and sense to help us connect to this rose gold pearl energy. So that's kind of how it came about. And it wasn't until about 2 years later, as I was developing the shadow deck, that it hit me what the rose gold lady was all about. It took a long time to kind of remember her and remember the energy that's represented. Why was it? So my question to you is, why was it so difficult? Why did it take me so long to connect to her? And is this kind of the experience you're finding other people are having, or was that just me being dense and thick?
Of course, just at that moment, somebody was banging on my door.
That's good. Open up. It might be the rose gold lady.
No, it was a very bewildered looking little man. Moira, I think she was something that it has something to do with the timing of when she appeared and who she appeared to. And it was almost as if we had to find a way. It was as if she kind of said, I'm here and I will wait for you, but you might not all be ready for me yet, because what I'm coming to do is to tip over all the old beliefs and systems. And she was all about the opposite of the patriarchal energy. Because we have been brought up, certainly in the West and with Christian tradition, God the Father. Nobody said God the Mother. How did they get that idea? I mean, everything is birthed through the feminine side, and except for this peculiar religious thing that was like, there are only men involved in doing this. And she came in and she said, but I am the mother. I am the mother that birthed God, which is such an outrageous statement to put out in the world, that all our bodies did a little, because we've all had lifetimes where we were severely persecuted for remotely considering that there might be feminine energy that is important and powerful and valuable and all the rest of it. So our bodies did quite a thing with, are you sure you want to put this out there? Are you sure you want to even remotely consider this? How safe are you when you go around saying there is a mother God, smack bang into our solid patriarchy? And so she was something that we needed to get used to.
Yeah, the body fears that. And so maybe that's why it took a while that time period was needed for the body and the cells to just adjust again. And oh yeah, I totally get that. My body is singing with that. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
No, so when we kind of blithely went and, oh, here you go, here's a new thing for you, everybody went, I'm not sure that that's safe for my body. My body knows what happens when I bark up this tree. Yeah. So there was a severe resistance to the whole idea. And I think for a lot of us, we had quite a bit of an initiatory experience after that. I mean, it certainly was.
COVID hit straight after that. Yeah.
I will not take responsibility for COVID.
But it was a planet-wide initiation that kind of happened. And I mean, you literally what I see from my perspective is you very gently, without fanfare and without big announcements and without your usual gentle, quiet way, just kind of landed this in our space and just said, and begin to remember her, begin to remember the Mother of God. And then I asked you to write a chapter about her. And it was like supposed to be like 2,000 to 2,500 words. And you gave me about 500 words. And I went, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? I don't have a chapter here. And again, it's like, what do you say about the Mother of God? How are we beginning to remember? How many words can you put out there to help people to begin to remember? And at that point, you and I went, Qurani. And of course,
we did, as we always do.
As we always do. I mean, Qurani wrote The Wisdom of Color Mirrors with you. You were co-authoring that with her. She's written incredible books. And then I ran to her and I said, please, you got to help Melissie, and you got to help me get the story of the Rose Gold Mother out into the book. And this is Qurani being featured in the Pearl book. And then she actually helped me with my chapter and various other parts of the book as well. And she suddenly became a part of the project. And she managed to take the 500 words and in the end, we ended up with about, I think, 1,500 words. So we managed to, to get to put the story of the Rose Gold Mother out there. And it's interesting when I ask people which chapter impacted them in the book, there's very little mention of the Rose Gold Lady. There's a lot of talk about, the green pearl and the copper pearl, and I love those stories and they're connected to them. And it's almost like I'm watching them do exactly what I did, which was that initial, I'm not sure about this bit of information. It's going to take time for me to adjust. So what I found in my practice is I've said to quite a few people, and recently actually on Friday, was it Friday I did a session with somebody? I said, go read the Rose Gold Pearl again. Go back to the book and read the story again. So that would be my challenge for anybody who has actually purchased the book already and you have read it. Go back and read it again, because there's multiple layers of vibrations and frequency information that changes every time you read the words. So Qurani, just again, thank you for doing a superlative job to help us get this information out there. What is it like writing for you? I mean, as you being an author, you've been co-authored with books, but you've also written your own book, What the Seeker Found. What is it like writing about what you feel or know as a knowing inside of you, putting it into words?
Moira, for me, and I think you know this about me, is the thing is I really do not feel like a writer. I don't feel like anybody who knows anything. The only way I can really describe it is if somebody asks me a question somewhere, I can access an answer. And even that only works when it works, And so it is a case of write a book for me is like, no, that's never going to happen. And with What the Seeker Found, what happened there was that many people had said, but you know so much, write a book. You have so much wisdom, write a book. And I was like, I wonder who they're talking about, because that really did not feel, that's not how I feel. But I do know, I mean, I say that with truly all the humility in the world, because it doesn't come from me. Yeah. I've never been the milkshake. I've only ever been the straw. Yeah. And in this case, it was absolutely the same kind of thing. And when it falls through the straw, that's what falls through the straw. I don't know how to access more of that. Yeah. So then what happened with the Rose Gold story was that I got what I got. And then Qurani said, yes, but also do the meditation. And I think that was really where there was then a lot of extra information that came through.
That meditation.
And so once we had the bit of the words and then the much longer meditation, then we had your however many words it needed to be. Yeah. But for me, that really is, so to say, write so many words, I'm like, I'm going to write all the words I get. Yeah. And then that's that.
Doing it anyway.
So it's always a thing that, yeah.
But
so no,
your son David,
I'm not an author.
But your son David is actually writing. That is his passion. It's writing books and creating extraordinary stories.
Whatever the hell goes on in that boy's head, I also take no responsibility for. Jeez. He is off planet, but he's super bright and has the most incredible insight. I'm always utterly amazed. I just go, how can you know this? As a young man, how the hell do you know how girls feel when their hearts get broken and all the rest of it, that he writes about so insightfully that it takes my breath away most of the time.
Yeah.
No, he's something else again.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm a fan of his writing, and I know that there's a whole bunch of the Colomerus family who follow his books and can't wait for his next installments because it's written in such a quirky way, and
Yes.
it makes you think. It's not just you don't just read it and go, oh, I know what's happening here. You actually walk away and it sits with you. So it's very, very clever author he is. So let's have a look and see if anybody's asking us any questions here. And let me just come back. Oh my goodness, we have quite a few people have joined us. Michael said he's picked number 2 for today. Deborah is here from California. Hi, Deborah. Nice to see you on the show. Carolyn, also from the States. Carolyn, lovely. I haven't heard from you for a while. I hope all is good in your world, girl. And Susan said she's picking numero. Hi, Susan. Amy's on, and Sherry Bros is on. She's picking number 2. Our Feng Shui girl is picking 2. Pamela Williamson, good afternoon from Scotland, and I want number 2. Number 2 is proving to be quite popular so far. Aurelia, hello, darling. Always lovely to see you. Nadira is picking 2 and saying hello. And Anne said it was an amazing workshop. Yeah, Anne McVie, I remember you were on that part of that group of 33. You were there. We've got Yenny Hernandez on saying hello. And Amy's giving the link to the 11 Pearl of Wisdom book. If you haven't yet purchased a copy, she's put the Amazon link there for you. You can actually get it on all the Amazon sites, but she's got a quick link for you there. Joanne Arjun. Hello, Joanne. Nice to see you. Number 2 again. Oh my goodness, 2 is going to be popular today, Melissie. Catherine Walker's on number 1. That's lovely. And Carolyn says, yes, thank you. I'm doing wonderful. Oh, that's nice to know. Oh, good. I love it. You can connect, you connect to people.
It's so lovely.
And the heart just warms up, when you see all the familiar names pop up. And anybody watching the recording as well, we just send you lots of love as well. So, Melissie, let's talk a little bit about the colors that make up this pearl bottle, because it's literally, I think it's rose, pink, and gold, if I'm not mistaken. Just tell us a bit about what these colors represent, and when they come together, what gives them that ability to shift the fear out of our body, so we begin to remember the Mother of God.
The gold is already, well, I'm channeling in Arab. When you start with yellow is the solar plexus, and it's kind of where we hold brightness and our brilliance and our academic ability and all that kind of thing, which is why we see yellow in a child's energy field and we say this is a bright child, because these intellectual kids have this yellowness in their energy field. So we know things even though we don't realize we can actually see them. But if you take the yellow, it's also the ego, and it's also the control, and it's also the fear and the panic and all of that stuff that goes on in the solar plexus. How you get out of that is by adding a little bit of pink to the yellow, and that creates gold. And gold is wisdom, and that's the outer ring of the solar plexus. But when the solar plexus is completely relaxed, that's what throws up the gold in the energy field, which is why they painted the saints with a gold halo and all that kind of. It was the gold of the solar plexus that was totally relaxed, opened, and not egoic anymore. It was now enlightened, and that threw up the gold. But that was still quite a kind of it's the start of the journey. And then if you add the pink, if you then add more pink, you get the rose gold. So it's a gold with 2 lots of pink. So it starts off by adding love, and then it adds more love, and then it becomes this beautiful, enlightened, opened up energy of the feminine when it is in its absolute power, when it is an empowered female. And this for me is so incredibly important, because if women could find that place inside themselves again, then they will bring up boys that can be enlightened, not controlling, not fearful men. Because what we have in the battle of the sexes is men that are damaged by women that are not given power. So they go underground and they undermine and they want white ant these poor boys who then have to be really fighty men to try and maintain some kind of sense of themselves. If women are utterly in this rose gold powerful state of their true creative selves, then they are going to create boys that can equally be the enlightened, empowered men that they were meant to be. And then we will have heaven on earth and we will stop all the nonsense that we do on the planet. So it really feels as if this rose gold is the kind of little seed that that is planted to grow the new planet from. And the new planet is that place of peace and plenty and safety and enlightened being, joyous being for all of humanity.
And conscious. We just get this little bubble today that won't go away. It's just quite lovely the way
it's kind of where we're holding on. It is in the solar plexus that we're still clenching about that we're not wanting to completely let the light in, and you can see it as a little dark spot. We've kind of almost got it mentally, we've got it in the depths of ourselves, but it's just that little power center in the center that goes, not sure about this, not sure if I can utterly relax into this and go yes to all of it.
Yeah, because it's always interesting when because we've got the audience pick today. Let me just remind them and just show them on the screen what it looks like. The audience pick today is to pick a bottle 1, 2, or 3, an essence bottle, and it's going to be a master bottle that you pick, and Melissie will do a little reading for you on that. And please put 1, 2, or 3 in the comments box so that we know which one you've picked. But I love when I study the Ascended Masters, or the stories, or the mythology, or the kind of spiritual information from documents that come through, what people perceive these Ascended Masters as being. What did they do when they got to that golden halo? What did they do with that love and that power? Kuan Yin, for example, is one that I really admire. The story around Kuan Yin, when she became enlightened, she had her golden halo, it expanded, she stepped into power and love. She chose to dedicate her existence, her energy, her memory to compassion, to teaching and holding the energy of compassion. And I love that. And I wonder if that is a good question to ask ourselves, if we, and when we get to that level of love and power, that double love, the double pink coming into the yellow, and we take the yellow with us, because the yellow doesn't disappear. It becomes the yellow and pink makes the gold, but that joy that comes with it. What would we do? What would we want to become, or what would we want to share, when you get to that stage? And my question is that possible in one lifetime? Is it something, do you think?
Then you become the laughing Buddha. Then you become the laughing Buddha. Then you're allowed to just giggle your way through enlightenment.
Yeah. But I wonder if it's something that we work at many lifetimes or many incarnations to get towards. I think it's not something you'll just in one lifetime feel you're going to attain it. That it's like, yeah.
But you know what, Moira? Then there are also a whole lot of beings that are here on the Bodhisattva vow, which is what Kuan Yin was. She was at the steps of she was at the foot of the stairs to heaven, and instead of going up, she turned round because she heard a human cry, and she said, I will not get off the wheel of birth and death until all sentient beings are saved. And that's the Bodhisattva vow, and that's a lot of beings I have met are on that. They needn't have been here. They absolutely took another life and another life to be of service, to not just be here for themselves. They are here to do, and they often have immensely hard lives. And it is literally a case of, I've come to take on a whole watch of the world's karma. I've come to do this so that you don't have to. And you see this with people's lives that are not easy, and you go, why would anybody sign up for a life like that? And it's absolutely because they said, I can.
Yeah. Oh, I know that resonates. That definitely resonates. Melissie, could I ask you to do a little, just throw some rose gold pearl energy into the group, just a mini meditation for us. I know it's not something we've usually done on the Color Chat show, but it just feels like that's the best way to connect to this energy, is just to feel and immerse ourselves in it. Do you mind doing that?
No, of course not. So just have a feel of that, Moira. Just give it a spritz into the ether.
There we go, darlings, all there.
Oh, that almost made me sneeze.
That is a sneezy one too. It's so good to catch this stuff.
So just take a deep breath, close your eyes, and really focus on your solar plexus, and just feel this little pearl right there at the center of your being. And with every in-breath, just allow that little pearl to expand and to grow. And with each breath, it gets bigger. And with each breath, it gets brighter. And eventually that pearl grows until it fills you, it fills your energy field, it fills your space. And you can feel it, the shimmering rose gold energy inside and outside of you. Absolutely just glowing, pulsating, warm, loving, beautiful, soft and nurturing and holding. And as you breathe it in, you feel how loved you are. You feel how precious you are. You feel how the universe sees you. Precious pearl of love. It is the mother, it is the female, and it honors you. You are so loved. Just allow that energy in. And the more you breathe it in, the more you can be that, the more you can give that, the more you can create a space in which only love exists. And very gently, just bring your focus back to this moment. And on an out breath that's comfortable, open your eyes. Take your time.
Oh, yeah, donkey. Thank you.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I'm so thrilled that that we took your knowledge on the pearls and the energy of the color mirrors practitioners, people that have studied with you and with me and with Karani and all the fabulous teachers we have, and they became a part of putting the information out there. Really appreciate that. The group, the team that kind of came together to make this happen. We got another one.
And Moira, you and the you-ness of that. I mean, you were the one that did that all, and goodness me, what would we do without you?
Huh. We're gonna do it again. This time the dragons let them speak.
Fantastic. That's going to be so exciting.
And if that works, we'll do a third one, and it'll be from the angels. It will be definitely the angels. A book about the wisdom from the angels through the lens of color. So this is a lovely way to just take color knowledge and the energy and the principles of the color mirror system out into the world. So appreciate that. I'm going to just have a little look in here. Catherine Bork says, Melissie, what a beautiful message about our beautiful boys. Oh, she has sons as well. Yeah. Pamela William, what's Moira's son called? Would like to see his book. It's Melissie's son, Pamela. And then I think somebody has posted a link here to David D.I. Jolly, his link. Oh, that's fabulous. Thank you for doing that, Amy. And there we go. Thank you for answering that. And Michelle, oh wow, Melissie. And Nadira says, thank you, Melissie, beautiful meditation. Please keep your comments going. Melissie and I will pop back on during the week and just check any comments that have come in, any questions that you have about the rose gold lady or the rose gold pearl, and we will answer them, no problem. Carolyn Usler says, wonderful feeling. Thank you, Melissie and Moira. Oh, yeah. I love it when Melissie throws in meditations, hey? Thank you. Just love it. All right, so let's get on with a reading for you guys. If you picked 1, 2, and 3, for all the viewers who've joined us, ladies and guys and dolls. I'm so African, you know, everything was guys and dolls. So that's just my South African slang. Right, so I'm going to put the camera on and we're going to give you a little guided message for the week through the lens of color and ascended master energy. So if you picked number 1, you picked Melchizedek. So Melissie, what do you think Melchizedek is telling and offering as a guided message to our viewers for this week?
You know, for me, Melchizedek's main message is judge nothing. You can't judge because you don't know the whole story. So just accept what happens, say yes to whatever comes up, and do not be in judgment of anything. Understand that the universe is for you, not against you. And trust that whatever you're being given is for your highest good. It's there to teach you something. It's there to give you something. It's there to change your direction or whatever. But don't judge it. Don't resist it. Be in a state of flow and acceptance of whatever the universe gives you.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's such good advice and guidance for the week. So if you pick number 1, you got it. It's look out for if there's a judgment, try not to go into it because really it's there for a reason, and try to not resist it, surrender into it. And yeah, I love it. Oh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Those of you picked number 2, a lot of you picked number 2 is Buddha. And I think possibly in the context of the laughing Buddha. I don't know, but let's see, go for it.
That is definitely the Buddha. Equally, this is very, but you know what? It always is so interesting when we take anything to its highest level, it becomes one thing. There's very little difference in the messages of the masters. All of it is about love and compassion ultimately, and non-judgment. And I mean, the Buddha very much is, again, judge nothing, trust that it is there for your highest good. And if you go the way of the laughing Buddha, remember that it was all just meant to be a joke, I suspect. So don't take anything too seriously. This is not real. It's the illusion. Enjoy it. Ascension is a byproduct of joy. Find the joy. Remember to find the joy. Really, whatever gets you there. Whatever makes you laugh.
Yeah, so this week, if you find something's overwhelming you, or you're struggling to deal with it, or you feel you're drowning in it, it's like actually begin to laugh about it, because really that is the best. Laughter is the best medicine. You really need to tap into laughter and joy this week and just see if that can lift the vibration. And I remember you once said that when Masaru Emoto made those water crystals, that the crystal for joy was actually more beautiful and stronger and more detailed than the crystal for love. So joy is actually very powerful.
Yeah, no, joy is the way forward. Have as much fun as you possibly can, for God's sake.
And for Buddha's sake.
For Buddha's sake, definitely.
Okay, and if you picked number 3, I don't know if there was anybody who picked number 3. Oh, Yvonne's on. She said she picked number 3. It's Yeshua. And Yeshua actually came into the system when you were writing what the seeker found, and you created that essence, pale gold.
Well, our Yeshua has always been the energy for me. I mean, it's an interesting one. Melchizedek was one of the teachers of Jesus. There's a link historically and spiritually about between Melchizedek and Jesus. But for me, I've always worked with the energy of Melchizedek, but the easy connection for me was always Yeshua. And so for me, that is just such a familiar energy. And it is the energy of, again, love and acceptance and compassion, and loving your neighbor as you love yourself is the key to what he taught. So love yourself first, and then you can give everything you have, because unless it comes from a place of love inside you, nobody outside of you gets anything much. So by as much as you can love yourself is only how much you can love outside of yourself. So the key to Yeshua is love yourself first. That to me feels like the kind of the biggest message, and the truth about it is love yourself. And if you can do that, everything else falls into place, because everything you experience is based on how much you believe you deserve by how much you love yourself. So that's kind of a key teaching.
Yeah, I love it. And collectively, we're sitting here with Melchizedek saying, judge nothing, Buddha saying, laugh, it's an illusion. And here we've got Yeshua saying, love yourself, and then everything will change.
Yes, it's
quite a
absolutely
power pack for the week.
totally. Love yourself enough so that you don't have to judge anything, and then you can laugh.
Yeah.
So it works perfectly together.
And then, of course, you put the overlighting essence of the rose gold lady with all of this, that she's kind of bringing in that female energy into all these masculine ascended master energy. And suddenly it seems achievable. To me, when I put this here, it feels like, hey, we could do this. This is something that you don't just have to talk about it. You can actually begin practicing it. Because really, if you think about it, in all the spiritual teachings that we've learned through the lens of color and the color mirror system, that is the hardest part, is actually putting into practice those principles and the ideology of living a more enlightened life. We could we could read it in a book, you can preach it to your students, but actually living it for yourself is always the initiation, and it's always the test. And somehow I think this rose gold lady can make that a little easier.
I think so. I think that's her job. I think
so.
she has come to make it easier, not to make it difficult.
Yeah.
She's really kind of gone and said, it doesn't have to be this hard slog. It can be just relaxing into it, just breathing into it. There's definitely an ease to her energy.
Oh, goodness. Well, thank you, Melissie, and thank you to all the viewers who've joined us today. I love it that you've participated in the show. Love that you're sharing. Love that you're participating by picking bottles as well. And and I could just keep Melissie on air for another half hour and keep this thing, make this longer conversation. But I know that we've got to get on with our day, and it's late in the early evening for Melissie already. So I'm going to just say, thank you again, Melissie. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for the Color Mirrors system. Thank you for building this beautiful Color Mirrors community, and for turning up again today just to share more of your wisdom with us. Deeply appreciated. We love you, and we appreciate you so much.
Thank you. My goodness me. And yes, and snap to all of that, darling Moira. None of it without you.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Okay, darlings. Bye-bye, everyone. It was lovely being here.
Cheers.